Every week I get multiple questions. Are you doing anything with your evening? What are you doing this evening? Have you got any plans this weekend? I reply, just work. Whilst most people think that means studying for an exam or life admin, it actually means something very different. I don't keep my business a secret, but I'm not going to go out of my way to tell them if they don't ask. The usual way it plays out is something a little like this. And that's why I'm here today, to answer those questions and to help you all learn how to do it too, so that you can free yourself from financial insecurity. Yes, being a doctor at face value is a very secure job, but there are always recurring fears. You might get sick, you might lose your job, you might get a complaint, you might get struck off. I feel like I've got the freedom to leave medicine and my job whenever I want, but I bet most of you don't feel that way. I want to show you what it's like to really run a business whilst crossing over with your job so that you can leave your job whenever you want. Just to say, whenever I talk about work in this video, I'm generally going to be talking about this kind of work, and when I'm talking about doctor work, I'll refer to it as doctor work. To be honest, my week starts on Sunday. If I don't prepare myself for the busy week ahead, you can be sure that the week that follows is going to be more stressful and busy as a result. Sunday is the day that I complete all of my Etsy orders to be shipped out on a Monday. As well as that, I need to go shopping, get meals prepared for the week ahead, clean the house, take the dogs back to my mum's house, and plan content for the next few weeks. So for me, the weekend really isn't time for rest. Organisation is paramount when you're trying to work and run a business. For my content creation and actually just general life organisation, I use the app Notion. Ironically, I'm using it right now. If you haven't checked it out already, I'll leave a link in the description. This isn't a promotion, I actually genuinely just think it's great, and I've only started using it probably within the last 6 months to a year. Of course, I do use my weekends to relax, but I'm never usually completely work-free unless I'm on a specific holiday or going away for an event, for example, someone's birthday party. In which case, I do try to keep work off my mind, which, to be honest, is easier said than done when you work for yourself. They say that you leave the 9 to 5 to start working a 24/7, but guess what? That 24/7 is so much more flexible than a 9 to 5. And arguably much more fulfilling. cabbage in, but all I had was raw cabbage or cooked courgette, so we've gone with cooked courgette. I didn't know if you could. Finally, the rain has come. My working week as a doctor starts on Monday. I work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. To be honest, I started this week already tired as I hadn't really rested, and Monday is usually extremely busy with work. On my 4 to 5 hour consultant ward round, I see a 50-year-old newly diagnosed brain tumour and a lady who has stumpier fingers than even I would be proud of, but who has the same haemoglobin as that of a mouse. I've been fasting for 18 hours, I haven't drunk any fluids, so it's fair to say by 2 PM I'm in need of a lunch break. I'm pretty exhausted on my lunch break, so to ensure that I properly rest, I don't use my phone whilst I'm eating. At the end of my lunch break, I write up the commentary for this part of the video, which you're listening to right now, and I get interrupted by a fellow doctor friend. I go press the no smoking button, which has not almost, it has no effect. I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I'm not gonna lie, I feel dead inside, like I don't want to be here, and I haven't got to the point of not caring yet, but I've just got no energy. I feel a bit better after lunch, but this is one of the first signs of burnout for me, and kind of makes me realise that I need to just chill. I really did consider going home, but taking mental health day and being sick or whatever, but as a doctor you don't really feel like you can, because there's not just another doctor sitting around ready to take your place. And you know that you'll just be fucking someone over, your colleague, and also kind of the patients, because you know them so much better, so you just know everything that's going on. I've only got 2 hours left now anyway, so 6 PM and I've only just left work for the second day in a row. FML. So I guess there's a little background of what happened. Essentially, I've been working 5 days a week whilst trying to run a business, well, more than one business. And the whole purpose of this is so that I can kind of escape working the 9 to 5. Also, I want to be able to get a house and not have a mortgage, essentially. So I know that's a big goal, but it's kind of the motivator and driving force behind all of this. And that in itself has its own motivators and driving forces, but we can talk about that in another video. As a result, I would get home from work and feel so overwhelmed by everything that I had to do that I would spend almost all of my evening working, and although that was sustainable for probably a few weeks, I've kind of reached the, for want of a better word, actually no, I'll call it a pinnacle, I was going to say climax, where I just couldn't cope anymore. I started to sort of hate life, and I just felt so overwhelmed and like I wasn't achieving anything. I wasn't doing anything that I enjoyed, meeting friends, or I'm sorry if I'm really sweaty by the way, it's really hot, and just feeling really guilty for doing anything that wasn't working. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not working because I feel pressured to. Like, no one is making me do this. I actually just really enjoy it, and the only problem is the money from my doctor job is a lot better than the money from my sort of passive income businesses earning stream at the moment, and I think that's because I probably put more hours into it, because it's a stable income rather than putting hours into something you don't know that's going to have a return on. To be honest, I finished Tuesday feeling like I'd done a really bad job at work. I basically just about managed to pull it together to finish the day, but when I thought about the next day and the day after that and the day after that, I honestly couldn't even comprehend it. It felt so overwhelming, the fact that I still had 3 more days. It's only 3 days, I know, but 3 more days left of the week to do that. I honestly couldn't do it, and I had to call in sick. Now, calling in sick as a doctor is horrendous. Unless you are physically falling apart, or you have COVID, in which case you can't come in, or I don't know, diarrhea, DMV, or you're hospitalised, it's really hard to not go in. I did actually voice to my colleagues that I was feeling really shit, but to be honest, it's not in their prerogative to have me go off, because it puts them under a lot more pressure. There were no other doctors. It's currently summer holidays, so people are probably going away. It's not that they don't necessarily care, but it's that they know that they'll be sort of thrown under the bus, I guess. I've got an extreme amount of guilt, to be honest, but because I'm not physically sick. I thought about lying, but I'm not a liar. I thought about lying and saying I had COVID or something, because that makes it acceptable. But to be honest, that would also be a discredit to actually recognising mental health and burnout. And burnout is not just a doctor thing. It is a business thing, it's a content creator thing, and I don't know if it comes with the job or just comes with the kind of personality of people that are involved in those jobs, because we tend to be hardworking and want to please and want to help, and we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. I knew I was coming up to burnout, but I didn't feel like I could stop it. It was kind of inevitable. Anyway, as a locum doctor especially, no one is going to look after you. The only person who's going to look after you and your well-being is you. Because you don't have a supervisor necessarily, you don't have somebody who's watching your progression and actually sounds bad, but you don't have somebody who really cares about you. You're kind of a service provision body to them. You're there to perform a service and go home, and that's it. Sounds awful, but it's kind of true. It's kind of ironic that I actually scripted out the rest of the week. I'm going back to prone position. No, wait, supine position. Anyway, it's kind of ironic that I'd already scripted out the next few days, the whole week, because I knew what my week was going to look like, having based it off the previous 2-3 weeks. So with a little wiggle room here and there, I kind of knew, oh, this is when I do this and blah blah blah. So clearly that was a bad idea, because it did not go as planned. But I wanted to finish off the video by saying sometimes this is how weeks go, and burnout is actually kind of inevitable when you're trying to live a life like I was living. It's taught me a few lessons. The irony in that is that I scripted a section on burnout. It was very short, because I wanted to recognise the fact that I was working so hard and burnout feelings were going to come. I didn't realise that I was going to drop off a cliff. The kind of irony is that I was trying so hard to avoid or get away from the 9 to 5 that I was working the 9 to 5 and I was never going to leave it, because there kind of reaches a point where you need to tip over from doing both to channeling your energy more into your side hustles, as I like to call them. So I think going forwards for me, I'm going to cut down my hours to 4 days a week maximum, despite the kind of pressure to work 5 days or sometimes more. And I just wanted to do a little section on how to recover from burnout. I have written here, relax, and this is literally what I've been doing. You get the point. I've been taking things really slowly. I've been letting my body recover and sleep and rest and just do things that I enjoy, like reading and catching up on things, sleep, tending to my plants, cleaning, like stuff that I know is going to reset my sort of mind and my stress levels as well. Try not to think about work. Easier said than done, to be honest. Guys, trying not to think about work is my next point, but it's easier said than done, especially as I personally have been receiving phone calls, text messages, emails, all about and from work, because I've been receiving replies to referrals and I didn't really feel comfortable. There's another one. I didn't really feel comfortable leaving the referral outcomes on my email. Now this is kind of a side thing. The negative part of the NHS is that my system is that it comes back to my email address, so it's kind of the responsibility is on me to forward that on or deal with it. But I'm sorry I'm not so like energetic in this. I'm usually quite, but I wanted to reflect the kind of feeling that I've been having. I think the issue with how much I've been working is that I haven't had a weekend off, like not even a whole day, because I have been using up all my spare time to do extra stuff and I can't do that. Do fun things, plan a fun weekend, and to be honest guys, take as much time as you need. I was only going to take 1 day off, and then by Wednesday I was like, I'm still not okay, like I can't go in like this. Burnout is something that I'm still struggling with, because I have such high motivation levels and I really want to get places. I am finding it really hard to balance my motivation with rest. On top of that, work's been really busy and I'm currently in the process of moving house. I know that I still haven't got burnout figured out. I know that I'm going to burn out again and again and again, and I'm going to figure it out a little bit more each time, but I didn't mean for this video to turn into a burnout video. We've changed cameras because my one keeps cutting out, I think because there's not enough memory on it. I talk for too long, let's put it that way. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to turn into a burnout video, but it kind of did, and in a way that's kind of a week in the life of a entrepreneurial doctor or anybody who works more than one job. It's gonna happen, but it's a true representation what my week actually looks like. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of whether you've had burnout, what you think of it, how you deal with it, and maybe just don't comment on how well my bra fits this time, because apparently that's now a thing. You know that you're getting popular when people start leaving bad comments on your videos. So thanks for that, and I hope you had a great time posting that comment and it really, it really meant something to you and helped. But yeah. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.